reflective response, merging the wisdom of William James and the teachings of Jesus. Throughout human thought, the tension between impulse and deliberate choice has been at the forefront of both psychological inquiry and spiritual teaching. William James' oft-cited idea, 80% respond, 20% react, captures a nuanced understanding of human behavior that resonates deeply with the teachings of Jesus. By exploring this dynamic, we uncover a framework that not only explains our internal struggles but also guides us toward a more conscious, compassionate way of living. The dichotomy of response and reaction. William James encapsulated the idea that our everyday lives are largely defined by how we choose to engage with the world. To respond means to engage with a reflective, deliberate mindset, a process that involves self-awareness, introspection, and a choice grounded in our values. In contrast, to react is to allow instinct and emotion to commandeer our behavior, often leaving us with outcomes that are less measured and more impulsive. This dichotomy finds a powerful echo in the teachings of Jesus. Throughout the Gospels, Jesus often modeled and taught the importance of measured, thoughtful action in the face of provocation and challenge. When he was confronted by adversaries, instead of succumbing to the immediate pressures of anger or retribution, Jesus consistently chose responses that embodied reflection and compassion. His calm composure in moments of moral testing, whether in his interactions with critics or in the face of hostility, illustrates a life led by response rather than reaction. This thoughtful engagement not only challenges the assumptions of human impulsivity, but also invites his followers to adopt a similar stance, nurturing love and understanding over impulsive judgment. Instinct versus deliberation, the human struggle. Human beings are innately equipped with a spectrum of instincts, responses honed by evolution to protect and sustain us. But these instincts often bring with them a propensity for knee-jerk reactions. Our modern lives, with constant stimuli and rapid-fire decision environments, can push us into reactive modes that might lead to conflict, misunderstanding, or regret. William James's assertion implicitly celebrates the conscious individual who pauses before engaging, allowing for a more measured, thoughtful response. Jesus' teachings delve deep into this struggle. In the Sermon on the Mount, he challenges his listeners to reject bare reactivity, in anger, in judgment, in the quest for retribution, and instead embrace forgiveness, even love for one's enemies. Consider the admonition to turn the other cheek or to extend grace when confronted with wrong. Such teachings require a deliberate overcoming of instinct and a move toward a higher incarnation of love and patience. This deliberate choice embodies James' notion of a response, one that is filtered through reflection and compassion. By aligning our actions with reflective thought, we tap into a profound freedom. The freedom to choose a path that transcends our immediate instincts. This move from reaction to response is not merely a psychological convenience. It is a moral and, indeed, spiritual imperative, as illustrated by Jesus' life and message. Freedom of will and the necessity of divinity. Central to both William James' reflections and Jesus' teachings is the concept of free will, the idea that our decisions are not preordained by blind instinct, but rather by a reflective process that can guide our morality and destiny. James argued that our conscious capacity to response allows us to transcend the deterministic chains of habit and immediate emotion. This freedom, however, reaches its fullest potential when aligned with something greater than ourselves, a divine truth. Jesus' proclamation that the truth will set you free, John 8:31-32, invites his disciples to understand that freedom is not simply about individual choice, but about aligning one's will with a higher purpose. Through thoughtful responses rather than mere reactions, believers are encouraged to enter into a sacred partnership with divine grace. Here, the human capacity for reflection becomes a testament to the divine spark within, a spark that allows us to access a more profound, God-ordained purpose. In this way, the process of responding thoughtfully is both an exercise in free will and a recognition of the transcendent influence that beckons us to live beyond what is immediately observable. Contemporary implications. In today's fast-paced world, the tension between reaction and response is perhaps more pronounced than ever. Social media, instant news, and constant interpersonal interactions create an environment ripe for impulsive reactions, a culture where immediate responses are often mistaken for genuine engagement. This modern reactivity can lead to divisiveness, misinformation, and a general lack of deep, reflective thought. Jesus' teachings offer a timeless remedy. His approach to life was not dictated by the immediacy of the moment, but by a profound commitment to love, patience, and deliberate action. In a society that frequently rewards impulsiveness, adopting a thoughtful, measured response can serve as a countercultural beacon. It challenges us to slow down, to consider the full dimensions of our actions, and to respond in ways that nurture understanding and unity rather than discord. This invitation to conscious decision-making can transform not only individual lives, but also the fabric of our communities, encouraging a shift toward more empathetic and engaged citizenship. Beyond human constructs, embracing a higher truth. At its core, the juxtaposition of James' psychological insights with the teachings of Jesus points to a fundamental truth, that our highest potential lies beyond the reactive impulses of the human condition. Both perspectives urge us to acknowledge the limitations inherent in our natural instinctual behavior. Humans are often trapped within systems of thought, be they scientific, cultural, or societal, that can reduce the richness of our experience to mere cause and effect. Jesus' life exemplifies a breaking away from these limitations by embodying and teaching a higher, more transcendent form of existence. His insistence on love, mercy, and reflection transcends the ordinary and elevates human experience to a spiritual plane. Similarly, choosing to respond rather than react is an act of courage. It is a daily recognition that while our instincts provide survival, our reflections sculpt our souls. By embracing this higher truth, we acknowledge that human constructs, however sophisticated, can never fully capture the divine potential that lies within each of us. Conclusion. The harmony between William James' assertion that 80% respond, 20% react, and the teachings of Jesus invites us into a profound exploration of what it means to act with intention, deliberate thought, and divine connection. This integrated approach to human behavior not only encourages us to pause before acting, but also challenges us to see our reflective capacities as a bridge between our earthly limitations and a higher spiritual calling. In a world that often equates quick reactions with authenticity, both James and Jesus provide a timeless reminder. Our most meaningful actions arise from measured, thoughtful responses, a practice that can transform our lives and, by extension, the very fabric of our society. In embracing response over reaction, we not only honor the insights of psychological inquiry, but also align ourselves with the sacred teachings that call us to love, to forgive, and to seek truth. This synthesis of modern thought and ancient wisdom offers a compelling pathway to personal and communal transformation, a journey toward a reality where every decision is a conscious, reflective step toward a more profound way of being.